we wanted from this Eurogroup clarity on the whole programme. That's what we felt did not exist in the May Eurogroup of the 22nd. We did not feel that there was enough clarity both for investors and for the Greek people about the way forward. We feel that after this Eurogroup there is a much greater clarity on for both the Greek people and for financial markets. Is it as much clarity as the Greek people deserve after all the reforms that have been carried out and all the sacrifices that have been made? Perhaps not. But we recognise that we do not want the perfect to be the enemy of the good. And we also recognise that all sides have tried to give and compromise to some extent. I'd like to thank a number of people who have worked very hard to get to where we are today. Not only the Prime Minister and the negotiating team, but our MPs and all the people who have believed that since we made the compromise in the summer of 2015, we could create the grounds for getting out of the programme and giving Greece a clear roadmap for turning the page. As a number of people have said today in the press conference of the four just before us, there is now that light at the end of the tunnel. I would like to thank Jerome Dijsselbloem for all his efforts to bring people together, to knock heads together to get this agreement. And I would particularly like to thank the French government, Bruno Le Maire, who has worked very hard to get people talking to each other and getting people to reach an understanding. So why can we look forward with much greater confidence to leaving the programme? Well, we can do that because you just need to read the last paragraph of the Eurogroup statement. The last paragraph of the Eurogroup statement says we, the Eurogroup, I can't remember the words exactly, commit to helping Greece to stand on its own feet, to access the market and therefore end the programme. As Christine Lagarde has very often said, there's no point in being in a programme if there isn't a clear path of leaving the programme. And the way we've reached that is with much greater clarity on debt. There is now not only the short-term measures, which will be intensified, there is also much greater clarity on the medium-term measures to be specified at to be carried out at the end of the programme. And at the same time, there is a mechanism depending on the performance of the Greek economy in terms of growth, of increasing the debt relief if growth is not so good and not necessarily having to do more debt relief if growth is much better. So there's also a long-term mechanism, even beyond that, on top of that, which is more conditional, which the Eurogroup would have to decide at that time whether much more was necessary. There is also something that is very much appreciated, and I think Christine Lagarde also said that in her talk, a new emphasis on growth and investment. It is absolutely crucial that if we are to stand on our 2 feet, we have policies and approaches to both the numerator, debt itself, and how you approach that, but also the denominator in debt to GDP ratio, and therefore there is a strong growth package involved in this, including the creation of a state development bank. This altogether gives us the confidence that if Greece keeps to its commitment, if it carries out a strong development policy, we will be in a position to leave the programme in the end of 2018, which is what, after all, is the point of the whole exercise. So I am much happier today than I was a week ago, let alone on the evening of the 22nd of May.